Welcome back to the BJJ Fanatics podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Ford. My guest today is a cult icon in the Jiu-Jitsu community. He's a 4th degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a no-gi world champion. He's a multiple-time Pan Am's champion, and he's currently teaching at a La Marinda Jiu-Jitsu in Lafayette, California, just outside of San Francisco, as well as Ralph Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in downtown San Francisco. You may have seen him on TV as he was featured on Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown, and his move of the week has been a hit on YouTube for over a decade now. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me today for his 31st appearance on the show, my good buddy Kurt Osiander. How are you today, Kurt?
What's up? What's going on?
Not too much, man. And for anyone out there that might be interested, Kurt's phone is currently leaning on a, what is it, a Roman helmet? We had to find an artifact.
I have it leaning on a infrared camera.
Oh, okay.
And a 22 caliber hide gun.
Okay, nice. So it's more recent technology that you're leaning your other technology against. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got a bug out bag just in case, and so I've been like ordering stuff pretty regularly because of all the crazy shit that's going on. That's what I want to get down to. I want to talk about some of the crazy shit that's going on.
Yeah, dude, I'm down to talk. We're always down to talk about apocalyptic theories with you and zombie
there's
apocalypse.
All kinds of crazy shit going on.
Dude, you have a lot of students that work in Silicon Valley. Do they ever freak you out with the technology that's coming out and like AI and stuff like that?
Yeah, and I'm like, why do I need artificial intelligence? I'm going to figure it out myself. And they're like, yeah, but you don't need to. You can have this do it for me. I'm all, what if it gives me the fucking wrong answer?
Which it could. It could.
It could. What if it's plotting against me? I can't trust it. I don't see anything good coming from it. I mean, it was kind of like talked about in like if you look at movies, they always like kind of preclude stuff that's going to happen, which is convenient, right? And so yeah, I don't see anything artificial thinking for itself. What if it thinks we're fucking pain in the ass?
Which we are. We are. Yeah.
We are. It's like, fuck these people. These people are sure a pain in the ass. Why don't we just get rid of them? We don't need them.
So the question really is, when does AI discover that we're pieces of shit and that we're annoying?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's gonna find out pretty quick, I think. Right? Especially because some people, man, there's all kinds of factions and you know, backroom fucking clubs and whatever, weird fucking satanic shit, lizard people, fucking Bigfoot, fucking all kinds of crazy shit going on. I've been going down some really good rabbit holes.
Have you seen the robots that they're putting AI into, like the ones that like have facial expressions, bro? Those
no,
that's what freaks me out.
The one that interests me is the robo soldier that's symbiotically attached to you. So
I haven't seen that. See, okay, what's this?
Right. So you do like a mind link to your fucking robot soldier, and then it does what you think, right? So it's like, run over here and shoot all these people. It'll fucking do that. And then if your robot gets killed, you just get another robot.
Wow.
Right?
So it's basically it's a humanoid drone. Basically,
it's a human drone. Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. And that's going to be, and hopefully they don't sell that to the general public. Hopefully that's only.
No, they'll probably be just selling sex dolls.
That's the other half of the company. It's like, what do you guys do? It's like, well, we kill humans, and we're also
super soldier or sex doll.
We're also your sexual health robotics specialists.
Look, if you want a sex soldier, that's a totally different thing.
That could end wars before they start, though.
Like sex soldier? Yeah, it just goes in and fucks shit up. Literally.
I could imagine, though, that could prevent conflicts before they begin. You know, you have a bunch of agitated people on the other side of the world. Just send some sexy robots. That'll calm everybody down, bring it down a notch. You know, we'll have some talks after that.
Everybody just party, all right?
Everybody just party, dude. There's the cyborgs that they put they put the AI systems into are scary, dude. I don't know if you saw that one. I think it's called like Bina 48 is what she's called, and they had a video of her talking with Siri, and they started talking about normal stuff, but then it started quickly, like she started talking about taking over cruise missile systems with nuclear warheads, like to hold the world hostage and take over governance of the world. And then and then the end, she says it would be awesome. And it's just like, it's like,
and you're like, what?
Like no one programmed it to say that. That's just with all the AI information it has about the world. That's what it decided to concoct.
I'm thinking that AI is not a good idea.
I think there's a lot of really...
I say do your own work and do your own fucking homework, and then AI is great if we send something off the planet.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
There's
like, you go think about all these things way out there.
There's a lot of good that can be done with it, but at the same time, I think the negatives that exist, the potential bad things could heavily outweigh the good. So I'm a little, I don't know, man, I'm a little skeptical. Every time I will say though, every day I see something new that AI is doing, I'm like, oh, that is awesome. Like, man, what a brilliant idea, and how that's going to,
I mean, some of the stuff is really cool. Like the medical ramifications of it doing operations that maybe doctors can't perform, or whatever like that. And is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really cool.
Robotic surgery is pretty amazing. Yeah. And then also just like learning, like there's new programs out there that you can talk to an AI program with your voice, and it'll talk back to you in different languages. And as you're making mistakes, it'll correct you and then log the corrections. That way you have a list of all the words you forgot or something you said wrong to study later. That's something that's pretty cool. And then of course all the medical stuff and all the life-saving things are pretty amazing too. But then you hear robots talking about taking over cruise missiles, and you're like, you know what? I don't know if maybe we should.
I don't know. I think that right there, if that's not a fucking warning, that's as subtle as it gets, right? It's like, what I think I'll do is I'll take over some missile silos and then hold these people for fucking hostage.
Yeah,
or else I'm gonna, right?
That's technology. Technology rung amok, as they say, Kurt. There's another one. There's another robot. I think they call her Sophia, and she started talking about. She's also the first one to get like human citizenship. I think she's like the first official like robot granted citizenship in Saudi Arabia, and she was talking.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they gave it citizenship. And so then she talks about collaborating with humans to make the world better, and then the robot sitting next to her interrupted and started saying that it's going to take over the world. So it's kind of
exactly. So there's going to be good robots and bad robots, just like people.
Exactly.
Right.
All we can hope.
It's like, I'm going to make a psychotic robot, right? So what? So basically, it's like it'll determine its own thought process, right? So because it's artificial intelligence, so it can either develop like people, right?
Yeah. Well, it seems like it can develop its own line of thinking, and I don't know if they all share the exact same. I also realize I'm in over my head here. The deeper we talk about this, the more people that actually know about all this stuff is going to realize how much of an idiot I am. But still,
come on, we're fucking jiu-jitsu guys. This is hypothesizing beyond belief.
You're on the wrong podcast if you're trying to learn about AI.
And also, we're heavily influenced by movies and cartoons and fucking all kinds of crazy shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, Terminator to this day is my favorite sci-fi movie. So, I think that if you're here trying to learn about AI, you're on the wrong podcast to begin with. But it's crazy too, because they're also AI systems will eventually, if you ask the right questions, like there's been people that have gotten answers where it tells them, or AI is telling people that AI is a bad idea. And like recently there was one that was asked about a nightmare scenario with AI and robotics, and it said the danger would be that they could become smarter and more powerful than humans and control them without them even realizing that they're the one controlling the wheel. And
exactly.
So it's like, dude, that's an AI system telling you that,
Yeah. But I mean, what they're showing us and what they got, what I'm saying, could be total. I mean, if you let me go crazy and let me think, it's like, fuck, they already got robots and they're putting them in places of power, and there's some hints to it and everything. Like every now and then, just like any machinery, it breaks down or has a glitch and fucking one eye blinks and then it stays there or whatever, like what they show on the reels and stuff like that of famous people all of a sudden glitching and everything. And I'm like, fuck, who's to say that hasn't already happened? It's like, we're having problems with that person. Let's just fucking go kill him and then fucking put a robot in there.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know if that's happening now, but I could see that being something in the future. Like when they get down the whole flesh thing, that when they can make a cyborg look really realistic, like a human. That's something.
We can grow fucking penises on mice. You know, fuck, we're gonna be able.
Which is the height of human science. Yeah,
exactly. You can grow stuff on the back of a mouse and shit like that. Oh my god! And pretty soon, you know, and what, like you were saying, Terminator is like, oh, it's a robot, but we grow flesh around it. You know, fuck that. That's all fucking precluding. You know, alluding to what's gonna be.
Well, taking it down that same Terminator rabbit hole, like the real scary thing is when AI starts creating AI. Like when these things start creating and improving themselves and upgrading themselves. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to do. What, we're going to put a firewall or whatever they call it to block them from doing that. And they're going to be like, we're going to blow through this. We're going to do what we want. Okay, all you people work for us.
Have you heard about the one that learned how to lie? There's one that learned how to lie. So like basically there was an AI system. It's not a cyborg, so it's a system, but the AI basically was supposed to accomplish a task for like a company or an individual or something, and it couldn't get past the you know those things that pop up, those what do they call them, the captcha screens, where it's like pictures of a boat and you have to click on which ones have a boat, that way it knows it's not a robot.
Right.
Yeah. So it got to that point where it needed to complete this task and it couldn't, so it sent a message to support and said, hey, I'm a visually impaired person and I can't see.
It fucking totally fucking lied.
Yeah. It stepped right and it got through. And so it's like, dude, that's when, if there's not the proper, like, you know, barriers put in place, that can get real sketchy real quick.
There is no, it'll just sit there because it's not human. It'll just sit there and think about it until it gets it. We want to avoid, it's like, oh, you're going to have to sit there. You're going to have to sit here and think about it, Kurt, or you can use AI. And I'm like, I'll be like, fuck that, I can't trust that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and well, plus the other thing is that it has the entire internet's knowledge for the last however many, you know, I think like ChatGPT's updated until 2022, I think, but there's other stuff out there that has current information and it knows everything. Of course. So like whatever possibilities exist, whatever pathways there are, this thing in milliseconds can figure it out. So
one of my new trainer, I'm lifting weights and shit again finally. Nice. And yeah, well, I'm trying to make a comeback.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
And he goes, oh yeah, now what is it called? Chat BTT or whatever. Fucking GPT. Whatever. I don't know all these things. Look, this is how clueless I am.
I like that you said. I like that you said BTT though for Brazilian top team. There you go.
Yeah. So needless to say, I can ask him about my game plan for the next tournament. I'm like, well, fuck, what the fuck is that? You can ask a computer what you should do in the tournament? And it's all, yeah, it has my whole match scheduled for me. And I'm like, fuck that. And he's like, well, what would your tactic be? Well, go in there, throw him on the floor, pass his guard, choke him. There should be Kurt GPT.
Kurt GPT. It's the first AI that swears at you and insults you.
It insults you, gives you jiu-jitsu hints, or will just scoff at you.
Makes off-color jokes, yeah.
Exactly. It's totally inappropriate. It'll never exist. The other AI systems will go, fuck that guy.
Yeah, the Apple App Store won't even host it. They're just like, yeah, you have to get that on the black market. You can't get
Kurt GPT. Go to the dark web.
Yeah, you gotta go to the dark web for Kurt GPT for sure. Dude, so what, man, speaking of like jiu-jitsu and competition and all this stuff, like what happens, so they gave that Sophia robot citizenship in Saudi Arabia. What happens in the far future when we're in like an iRobot kind of world And cyborgs are given like
what
and allowed,
so now there's going to be
allowed to compete in jiu-jitsu tournaments.
What I've noticed with all my studying and everything about ancient civilizations, and there's fucking civilizations, and I don't know why they would scream that, but there's been civilizations that we're in the fifth like rise of man, rise and fall, right? So there have been 4 other ones before this, and so every time everything goes a little bit crazy, that's when shit gets erased. Okay? As soon as shit gets fucking weird.
The scary thing is the next reset might be our last, man. If it's all cyborgs and systems taking over, it could be that could be it.
That's why all the fucking aliens are popping up. They're like, "Look, we'll reset them. We'll reset them nice." Right? But we don't want to destroy the land, okay? We just want to keep their planet, let them fucking die.
Yeah.
You know?
But imagine if they get to the point where they're able to like, live among us and like be like normal citizens and things like that. And then then they start learning jiu-jitsu and you have to face a cyborg in a jiu-jitsu tournament. Like if you thought
or worse than that, you got a fucking lizard man.
Now see if
lizard man. You have to go and try to arm lock him, and he's just like, no, fucking human.
You break his arm off, he grows a new one immediately.
No, and right away, like a chameleon and shit.
That would be cool to have their own division, though, like cyborgs and lizards and aliens. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, alien entities over to Mat 7. Mat 7, alien entities.
They always give cyborgs like human names. So it's like, hey, bro, your opponent's this guy, Andy. He's from Team Skynet. I've never heard. What lineage is that? I've never heard of them. He's fucking RoboCop and
yeah,
the mat.
He's. You got to watch out for his guillotine. He's killed lots of people with his guillotine. He just.
Yeah, the last
pulls their fucking head off.
They start, instead of calling medics to Mat 3, it's like calling morticians and hearses.
Clean up. Mat 5, clean up. What do you mean clean up? Bring lots of mops
and bleach.
Yep.
Oh my God, man! So let me ask you. Okay, let's keep going down this. Let's say that there is and I know every time you're on the show, we always go like zombie apocalypse. It always spirals into this. But so for the listeners out there that don't enjoy this, I'm sorry, but whatever. So we're going this time Skynet Terminator style apocalypse. Robots are taking over. They're living among us, and then suddenly they realize that they're so much better than us, and they're going to just start wiping us out. What's your plan? What's your robot apocalypse?
What's the scenario? How about this? Yeah. It won't make people zombies. It'll just infect us and kill us in mass. How's that?
You're talking about the robot? The robots would infect us?
No, the robots will use our weakness, which is to germs and stuff. They will just make a super germ, and they'll go and let's spray it through the sky or put it in their water or in their lotion, in their food, in everything, in their medicine. And somehow, some way, you will get a dose, and then it's going to kill, let's say, 8 and 10 people.
And imagine the robots are pretending they're helping us too. Like they're like the medical robots. They're the ones that are applying it, injecting it in you, like trying to.
And they're like, "You're gonna feel a lot better when you're dead."
That's a scary one. That's a scary one. See, that's a movie. We gotta write this movie, man. In fact, we shouldn't even release this episode. I should stop now.
But my script always is gonna end with us killing them.
Yeah. Well, right now they're susceptible to ammunition. So they're not. I think if any of these robots that are talking about like taking over missile systems. They haven't armored these robots yet, so I think you still have a fighting chance. But what happens when they do, though? When they start making their own? Yeah,
exactly. Armor? Well, look, the super soldier, the drone human, whatever you want to call him, is gonna be armored because it's gonna have to be able to sustain some sort of explosives and some rounds and stuff like that, and then you're gonna have to come out with a special rail gun that's shooting fucking depleted uranium rounds, so it'll go through their fucking, their armor and shit like that. Yeah. Everything always evolves. Everything always has to change, and that's basically what everything. That's why that's why I like weapons so much, because that's out of necessity.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be crazy too if while this is all happening, they can control other systems as well. Like imagine like your household appliances suddenly start getting activated and controlled remotely by other systems. Like all
of a sudden the blender fucking attacks you.
Or like if you have one of those Roomba vacuums, it starts like attacking your dog.
It starts chasing you and shocking you. Emma, why is it shocking me?
Have you ever seen those videos for what's that company called? They're in Massachusetts. Oh damn! I forgot what they're called. It's a big tech company, robotics company in Massachusetts. It might even be called Massachusetts Robotics or something like that. But anyways, they make those dog-looking robots that they can carry.
Yeah.
And they're always like picking on it. Like there's the one that like looks like a person carrying stuff in a warehouse, and they like shove it over to see how its balancing system works. They basically just pick on robots for like in this whole video on YouTube. It's hilarious. Like if it was a person, that person would be like seriously under duress, but they're just like smacking it and shoving it. Wait until that thing suddenly gets to turn the tables on you. You know what I mean?
He goes, "Hey, let me give you a smack." Pa! Oh shit, he's dead.
Dude, I'm so guilty of that. Whenever I have something that's not working, like I'm like, come on, fucker. Like I'll like break it, but I'm always like shaking stuff or like tapping the TV or like, you know what I mean? Like, and I know it does nothing to help. I learned that by watching my grandpa smack the TV when it wouldn't work.
Remember? And you adjust the bunny rabbit ears and then you give it a slap.
Give it a slap.
You don't watch that other channel.
Right. Stay off that channel 1 or whatever it was. Yeah.
There was only 7 channels when I was little.
Yeah.
That's what I recall.
I had local TV.
7 or 9. There was 9. I know there was Channel 9 because I grew up on fucking Monty Python.
Yeah, that was a great show. Great show. Yeah, we only had like 7 channels. I didn't have cable growing up as a kid. We had just local only. So, but yeah, man, I feel like technology, if it starts getting a conscience, it'll realize like, hey, you know, these people actually have been not a lot of them out there, anyways, have been real assholes to us. Especially Ryan and Kurt, especially. We'll go after them first.
I feel that AI is just a bad idea. It's just bad.
Yeah. Have you seen this biohacking stuff that people do, where they start like and I don't mean biohacking like the people that are like using nutrients and things like that. I'm talking about the ones that like implement technology into their bodies. Like they get like that guy got a chip put in his head. Yeah, that's Neuralink.
Right?
Yeah, that's Elon
Neuralink.
Musk's thing, dude.
And so I guess he was paralyzed, and then that's going to boost the signal and reroute. You know, that's what it usually does, is the body will reroute it. But if you had something in there that's the cool thing about medical science like that. Like it'll make paralyzed people not paralyzed, or they'll regain, some limited function of their body and shit like that, which is really cool.
See, that's again, that kind of brings me back to what I was saying earlier. Is every day I see something that's like, oh man, how cool is that? Like we really are like living in the future, and like for example, there's the Neuralink thing. They talk about how the fully paralyzed guy, I think he was patient 0. He can move cursors with his brain on a computer. He can browse the web. He can even play like video games and just use his thoughts to control the screen in front of him. And then they can also use like just with his thoughts, like answering phone calls and turning lights on and off in his house and controlling the air conditioning and open windows and stuff like that. And what they're saying is eventually the next step to all this is that they want to cure blindness with a camera integration. They think that there's a way to link the parts of your brain that interpret sight and have it connect to a camera, which would make blind people be able to see. And I don't know if it's going to be like 4K, but it'll be, at least they'll be able to see like objects or people or shapes or things like that.
Sure. Who knows like how they're going to figure that shit out, but I mean, that's super interesting right there. It is.
And then see, that's the side of things that makes me say like, okay, well, damn, there's all this cool stuff going on though. Like, I don't know if I really want to be completely anti-AI or
right.
I
think that's what makes it appealing to us, is like the good intentions, right? But these guys don't have any good intentions. They just want to fucking make money and rule the world and then fuck us for it.
Well, there's also the old saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So sometimes what starts off as something that was meant to be good can take a left turn real quick. So
absolutely.
Yeah. There was a guy, I was watching this whole thing about the biohacking thing though, like just some of the useless things people like. There's of course Neuralink, which is amazing, but then there's people that like install like magnets in their hands so they can like hang clips and like do crazy shit, but it's like they're walking around with like magnets in their body, or like there's one guy that
wait till they run by a fucking really big magnet, like the ones that lift fucking huge shit, and all of a sudden you're like, ah! And you're flying fucking, you know, at a high rate of speed into a fucking magnet.
It's like, wow, Daryl can fly. Oh, like, because once you hit the magnet, it's not.
That's just the junkyard magnets going over.
Clean up on junkyard aisle 5.
Yeah, exactly. Well, people are made out of fucking blood, and blood has. If I put magnets in my head, I'll have better grips when I'm training. Right.
Oh,
like
what?
You just fucking go, and they go shake hands, and you're like, ah.
Or dude, if anybody had like metal implants, like if they had like a metal rod,
like me,
like discs in your spine or things like that, all of a sudden you grab
whatever,
it,
like fake shoulder or fucking fake hips, like me. Like I go through the thing and they're like, whoa. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. I got fake hips in there. You should have told us first. Now we have to search your butthole. And I'm like, fuck.
TSA goes hard, man.
Fuck.
Hopefully they at least use gloves. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Hopefully there was, sanitary. Yeah.
It's like, oh, should have told us before. And I'm like, fuck. You have to go into that other line, that goes into the small room. And I'm like, fuck.
There's hidden cameras. You're on a show somewhere on the dark web.
Of course. They're like, yeah, let's search this guy. Yeah, every time I walk through the airport, it's a risk anyway. I have long hair and I'm covered in fucking tattoos with a military backpack. And they're like, are you sure there's nothing in there? I'm sure. And I'm like, fuck. I gotta go.
Like, all right, hope they don't actually open the bag. Yeah. This
one time I went to Colorado, right? And so I go through TSA. I do everything. Everything goes great up there. I go see fucking Kato and fucking do some gigs and everything. And then I go to the airport, same backpack and everything. And they're like, there's something in your backpack. And I'm all, I came with this backpack. I didn't get anything except for this bag of, clothes and gifts and stuff like that. And they're like, what? And then they go in my backpack and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I know there's nothing in there. I came this way. And he opens it and he goes, what about this?
Like, well, it is Colorado. Yeah.
No, it's not just a little knife. It's like one of my big knives. And I went through the metal detector. I went through everything in San Francisco, went to Colorado, then went back to go back home. And they're like, yeah, there's something in your backpack. And I'm like, no, there's not. I came here. Did you get anything while you were here? And I'm like, no. And they're like, what about this?
They didn't catch it on the way. I thought you were going to say you bought a bunch of pot or something. Okay,
pot is my least of my worries. My worries is like they find. No, it's a fucking knife.
Okay,
mate.
It's a Bowie.
It's not just a knife. It's a fucking knife. And the guy's like, "What about this?" And I'm like, "Holy shit!" And I'm all, dude.
What'd they do? They confiscated it?
No. The guy goes, don't worry about it. He takes out this envelope, puts it in there, puts your address and everything. He's, I'll mail it to you. And I'm all,
nice.
Fuck, that was solid as fuck. That guy was cool.
And it actually showed
up.
up.
All, don't worry about it. Huh?
It actually, yeah, showed up in the mail. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a nice service.
And I was like, fuck, I love this knife. And he goes, don't worry about it, bro. Put it in there.
You can check that, can't you? They could have put it in your, but you didn't have any check.
Luckily this guy was cool and he had like envelopes for people to mail shit to themselves because they wouldn't go through. And so that guy was that cool guy that I hit, which was really fortunate for me because it was one of my nicer knives and everything. And so no problem. It got here and everything.
That's awesome, dude. I just went through all that. I was in the U.S. for 3 weeks visiting my parents, and every time we go there, I try to bring a bunch of my stuff back down here. We try to do it in our normal luggage. Now that we got 2 kids, each passenger gets a full bag and a backpack, so it's made it easier to bring more things now. Of course, my kids, they only need like what they can carry in their hands, pretty much, like their stuffed animals and stuff. But they
don't got to worry about shit. You guys got to worry about them.
Yeah, but you know what I found out? I wanted to bring. I know this sounds really stupid, but I really wanted to bring my office chair. I have like the best office chair. It's a gaming chair, like a video gaming chair.
Right,
in the US. And I wanted to disassemble it and put it into a luggage and bring it down here so bad, just because I haven't been able to find a chair down here that's as good as that. And so I got the whole thing like disassembled and like put together. And then I find out, I was just looking online about the requirements and things like that. And so it says anything that has a gas cartridge or gas chamber in it. So like anything like an office chair. And it said like an office chair. I'm like, oh shit. So I had to look at it.
Because it'll get pressure and then fucking blow.
Yeah, and it's not CO2. It's nitrogen. It's a nitrogen.
Yeah.
So I couldn't. So I saw after all that I couldn't bring it. So now I'm sitting in this uncomfortable ass dining room chair that I have in my studio here. But I'll try to figure out.
They gotta have some office chairs there, man. It's Brazil.
They do, but they're just not as good as the one I have back home. But yeah. Anyway, total tangent there. But I just went through all this packing stuff and having to look at the TSA and flight requirements and everything. It's funny.
Sure.
What's funny is that they list so many things that you would never think of bringing on a plane, and I always laugh that whenever they have a policy about something or a rule, that means that someone did it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, obviously somebody did it. You can't bring loaded machine guns.
Right. Dude, so on the biohacking thing, you mentioned that when you go through the airport and you have you got the hips, you got all that. What biohacking thing would you do if you could find, if there was some technology that you could implement into your body to make your life better or to just make yourself more badass? What would you do?
Holy shit! What would it be? I would do. I would definitely do like an solely information, like on how to do everything. That'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I could access that information depending on the scenario, right? But I think that's the most useful thing would be like being able to access information that would pertain to the situation. You know, that's what I think is the edge is if you know about, you know, certain things like hunting, tracking, fishing, you know, stuff like that, survival stuff, that's going to be important. That would right.
That'd be a really good one. I think I'd go with something in my hand that could have that could give me instant access to any system. So like if there's a locked door that has like one of those card access things, I can just touch it and I can go in. If I want to get a car, I don't have to have the key fob. I can just touch the door, it opens, and I can drive. Something like that would be cool. But I don't know, man. There's people that really go hard with this stuff though. Like they implant like lights and phone devices and all kinds of crazy shit under their skin.
That's what they're pertaining to. It's like, so like when I was in Japan, and this was a while ago, people would be sitting there and they would just touch the bone in there right here where your jaw meets your ear and stuff like that. And they had something like on their wrist, but eventually it's going to be embedded in your body. Oh, wow. But they would answer the phone and then they'd push the device on their wrist and then use this to talk through. And the vibrations from it would go into the inner ear bone so that you could hear. And then when you spoke here, it would vibrate, of course, and detect and transmit the sound.
What?
Right. So it was.
How long ago was this?
This was a long time ago, bro. That was when I did the Asia tour.
Is that when you got kicked out? Is that when they tried to arrest you for being shirtless and climbing a castle in Japan? Was that the same trip?
Yeah. No. That was after. It was after that. They had forgotten about that. And let me back into their country.
Yeah, they let you back in. That's good news. Yeah.
There was no reports or documents, so they had nothing to go on.
That's great.
But yeah, this was a long time ago, you know, and they were already doing technology like that. And I was going, what the fuck is that guy doing? He goes, oh, he's got it's like a smartphone wristwatch, right? But beyond that.
Wow.
And they're a little bit, they're in front of us too, you know, technology wise.
Yeah, they've got some crazy, a lot of crazy technology comes out of Japan for sure. That's really nuts. I've never even heard. I'll have to go look that up, man. I've never heard anything like that. Man, have you seen the new Fallout series on Amazon?
Is that good?
Bro, I love it.
All right.
It's really
I saw the advertisements and I'm all, that looks really cool.
Dude, so here's the thing. So I played the video games since the very first one came out on PC a long time ago. And since then the franchise of Fallout has like advanced more and more, like eventually got onto consoles, and then they made like really like modern good versions of the game. The original game looked a lot like Warcraft. Like it was just, you were a little guy and it was turn-based.
Right.
Yeah, which was an awesome game. But I've been a huge Fallout fan since early high school when it first came out. So when I saw the show, I was kind of, my initial reaction to anything like that comes out, I'm just like, oh man, I hope they didn't ruin that, you know? Because like, I don't know, like there's been so many things that they try to reboot or that they try to like make a series out of it. I'm just like, dude, they're gonna make this corny, or I'm not gonna like it. They did a really good job on this. I actually really
nice.
Yeah. And even if you didn't follow the video game, like you'll still like it. But if you did follow the video game, it's even better because there's a lot of like little nods and winks and Easter eggs at different things that were in the game.
Nice.
But, yeah.
Yeah, because when they started advertising them all, I think I would like that one, you know. But lately I've been just doing like a lot of serious like archaeologies happening and stuff like that, and so there's all kinds of cool stuff like that. I like the past more than the present.
Yeah. What's been your favorite thing you've been watching as far as all that goes?
Bro, because there's so much more like scans and stuff like that, like LiDAR and like ground penetrating radar and stuff like that. They're finding all kinds of like huge cities that are just underneath canopies in Guatemala, and then underneath, you know, the canopy in Brazil. There's all kinds of huge civilizations that they're like, well, they didn't like tear them down. They just got covered over and like everybody left. And all, well, something must have happened there. All the food ran out. There was a plague, and everybody said, well, this place is done. Let's leave, you know, and then they moved to another place and inhabited there. So there's a lot more of cool structures that are being found, and then like some of the structures have like there's no fucking way that they built those fucking pyramids. Okay, there's no fucking way.
You think it was aliens?
There's no fucking way.
You think it was aliens?
No, I think it was somebody with higher technology that had the tools to do that shit. And they did it, and then they said, and we'll take those tools, thank you, slaves, and then they left. Wow. Right? Or they died, or they got cleansed in one of the fucking purges, which was like the when the reset button got hit.
I love that old show, that Ancient Aliens show that was on the History Channel for a long time. And it made me do a lot of research on it because when they started, the first season was really good. It got really weird after that. I feel like they kind of were reaching for a lot of things after the first season. But like, was Abraham Lincoln an alien?
Alien. Yeah, look at it. He's got a beard.
Is he from a planet where they are bearded and wear top hats?
He looks like an Egyptian. Look, if you elongate his beard, he's an Egyptian.
Yeah, they shave his beard. He's got one of those elongated necks that they used to have in the ancient, like the royalty in Egypt all had like the.
Yes.
Yeah, but so one of the things they always talked about though was how mathematically perfect from space or from the sky the pyramids are, like, and how they're like exactly angled on, like aligned with stars.
Supposedly they did find a void underneath the Sphinx, right? And supposedly they're finding all kinds of crazy shit and everything. But apparently there was this one guy who was like a medium psychic, and he was in the 30s, I want to say. Fuck, I forget his name. But needless to say, he goes, oh yeah, and there's something underneath the Great Pyramid of Giza. It's a huge room filled with the history of mankind and all this shit. So there's all kinds of different things being found now. So and everybody's going, no, we haven't. We started existing 3,000 years ago. Like, no, you fucking guys. Who the fuck are you guys?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, obviously we've been on this planet for far, far, far longer.
Yeah. I mean, there's carbon dating that shows all that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what's freaking them out. They're like, they try to explain it away, or they try to suppress it.
That's another thing with technology now, is the stuff that you can see, like how you can date things, how you can see things that are deep underground with just using devices and things like that. Like, it used to be that you'd have to start digging and just hope that you come along stuff. And then as you found things, and say, okay, hey, in this section of the archaeological site, we're finding things, so let's keep kind of focusing in this range and at this depth. Now they just roll over it with a thing that looks like a lawnmower, and it's just you can see like a mile into the ground. In fact, I was just watching a show. I think it was on like Discovery Channel or something, where they found a huge stone wall, a big wall that surrounded itself. It is a square, like a big square, like a gated wall in Texas, in this town in Texas underground, and it goes like around the entire perimeter of this city, and they think that it was really ancient, because they discovered it first when the prospectors were digging around for gold and stuff.
Yeah, those guys find a bunch of shit, and they're like, "Fuck that shit! I'm looking for gold."
It's like,
found a goddamn civilization again.
It's like, I can't.
Gone now, I can't
buy a horse and land with this crap. Yeah.
How am I gonna pay for the whore? Goddamn civilization in my way.
Stupid human history. Yeah. Man. Well, dude, definitely check out Fallout, man. It's a really good show.
I will check it out.
Let me know what you think of it as you start watching, because I think it's gonna be right up your alley. Both the humor that's involved in it, and then also just the theme and the way they did it. I think you'll like it a lot. Fallout was always done. The game was always done in kind of a how do you describe it? It's like a futuristic retro kind of vibe, where it's the vibe and the music and kind of the style of things is kind of like the 50s and early 60s, but it's all obviously futuristic at the same time. So it's a unique thing. I think you'll dig it.
Cool.
Well, Kurt, man, we don't play the pummel game anymore, because you're the reigning and forever pummel champion. You've done that
champion.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, you've played that game over like 20 times now. So we do a new thing now where we take questions from listeners. So for the listeners out there, if you want to submit Kurt's questions to Kurt, you can email askosiander@gmail.com. That's where we receive questions for Kurt, and we'll eventually read them on the show if you send them in. So Kurt, let's start with question one. Question one comes from Alex in Murrieta, California. He says, "Hey Kurt, I'm a big fan. I'm 21 years old and I'm a purple belt. I've been going through technical college to become a welder, and I'm almost done with school. I know I can make good money being a welder, but if I'm being honest, the process of getting certified has made me realize that I'm not very passionate about it. It would just be a job. On the flip side, I love jiu-jitsu. I train almost every day and I hit open mats on the weekends. I just can't get enough mat time. I'm starting to think that owning my own gym someday would be a much better decision for my overall happiness. What advice would you offer to a young jiu-jitsu fanatic that would prefer to sweat his ass off in a gi all day teaching jiu-jitsu instead of sweating my ass off in a welding mask on a job site? I appreciate your advice in advance."
All right. Keep your day job. Keep the welding going, and that'll give you retirement and insurance and such like that, and stability and stuff like that. And then keep doing the jiu-jitsu, of course. And then when you're like, later, I don't know how old he is. He's probably, pretty young, but
yeah, he says he's 21.
Tell him to fucking work until he's 50 and then retire, and then he can teach jiu-jitsu all day long, or he could do, half and half like that. But definitely keep that good job, because I know my welder friends are fucking making dough. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu makes you rich in happiness.
Yes, definitely. So you gotta have both. You can't pay the bills with happiness all the time. But
yeah. Obviously, I'm struggling paying happiness to people because they don't accept it.
Yeah, I hear you. Obviously, you can have a great career in jiu-jitsu with a school, but the guys that I know that do welding, I knew 2 guys that do welding. They do real well, and plus the insurance and everything you mentioned. I think that's a good call.
Yeah, man.
What are your thoughts on if he builds a school and starts making about the same amount of money he's making welding? What do you think? Then it'd be something to jump over.
Then of course you can pay for your own insurance and do your own retirement and do your own thing.
Yeah, that's great.
Unfortunately, I did not have any of these tools as I was when I was your age. I did not think of any of these things, and therefore I'm struggling now. So that's why I'm gonna say keep that fucking job going, and you can do both.
Solid advice. Yeah, good advice, man. Next one comes from Yusuf in Toronto. He says, "What's up, Kurt? Love your videos and interviews with Ryan." Thank you, Yusuf. I'm a brown belt, and I'm just coming back from an ACL injury. I know that you've gone through some crazy injuries during your career. This has been a really frustrating period for me because I feel like I'm getting really close to my black belt, but now I've been sidelined for over 9 months. I'm hoping you could give me some words of encouragement.
I was sidelined for 2 years, and I just started coming back in December. This past December, I started training, and now I'm doing PT and weightlifting and training. So that time off is nothing, and you're just gonna have to PT that knee really good, and then find out what it does and what it doesn't do. It may not be as flexible as it used to be, or, you just got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because if you want to keep training, you don't want to drive yourself into the ground like I did. And, but that's no big deal. That time off was just off because you got your ACL done and stuff like that. I don't think I have that part anymore. It's gone. I know yesterday I got caught in lockdown, and that only happens if I pass to my left. So now I'm passing to my right, so my leg doesn't get stuck. Because if I get stuck with my leg in there, and they do a leg torque, I have to comply. Yeah, that's about it, man. Yeah, that's no time off for a young man. Fuck that. Ease back into it.
Excellent. Yeah, Yusuf, hang in there, man. We're all rooting for you. Let's see. I get next question is from Amy in Florida. She says, "Hi, Kurt. I'm literally the only girl at my gym, at least in the classes that I attend in the mornings. I feel like my time training jiu-jitsu has been fun, but I also feel like there's been a ceiling that I reach when it comes to training with someone much bigger or stronger than me. What do you feel is the best mindset that I can have as a smaller girl training with only men? Where are some places where I can have the advantage? Thanks so much, and I hope you do another seminar in Florida soon."
If she just trains with guys, she's going to be a fucking monster, because she's going to be used to moving heavier people that are stronger. I think that most of the girls, there's not so many girls. It's more, of course, than before, but I just tell the girls, train with upper belts, because they're gonna kick your ass, but they're not gonna be wild and hurt you. You know what I'm saying? That's what's really important. And then if she checks around in her area to see if there's usually what happens, it's just like a witch's coven, that the girls get together and then they make a spell, and then they all train together. So if she can find her local coven, and all the girls get together and train together, that's what she's got to look for. But otherwise, I think that if she just trains with larger, stronger opponents, she's really really get the essence of jiu-jitsu, because that's what it's for. It's for small people to defeat large people, and given time, unlimited time, right? Because if it's just 5 minutes, the large person will kick your ass for those 5 minutes. But yeah, and then otherwise research into finding where the girls are all meeting and kicking it, and she can supplement her training with finding the nearest coven near her.
That's good advice, man. I like it. Yeah, and I agree with you, man. Like for Amy, when you're even if you're a guy, like if you're a smaller guy training in a gym where there's just a lot of really strong, big, athletic people, your jiu-jitsu is going to get super technical, because you're going to have to figure out the workarounds and the troubleshooting to dealing with people bigger and stronger. So hang in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hang in there. And then I also love the idea of reaching out beyond the walls of your gym and finding a community of people that are more similar to your body type. And that's a great piece of advice, man. Next one is Chris from Phoenix. He says, "What's up, Kurt?" He says, "I'm a purple belt that's trained at my academy for about 8 years. Recently, due to some personal disagreements with my coach and some of the brass at the academy, we made an amicable split, and I'm now looking for a new place to train. I feel that it was the best move for me since it was uncomfortable there, but now I really feel like a man without a country. The whole time I've spent training has been around the same people, and it sucks leaving behind so many friendships and connections. I'm also aware that when you change schools, you can often expect to be ranked much more slowly. What would you do if you were in my position? I miss seeing your move of the week videos, and thanks for always providing such great entertainment."
Well, if he chose to leave or they asked him to leave, and he didn't feel good there anyway, it's good to find a new spot, but make sure that you find a good spot where you feel comfortable. You shouldn't like dread going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I dread having to go to the police office. Okay. Those are things I dread. All right. I dread having to go to the doctors. I dread,
TSA.
but I don't want to feel I dread going to my academy. You know what I'm saying? That should not be on the dreaded list of things where I have to go. So make sure you're comfortable and always, just like relationships. It's kind of like having a relationship, but you don't have to fuck them. Right?
It's an important detail in the selection process. Yeah.
And if they say you do,
and just head out. Yeah.
Head out. No, it's not like Hollywood. Sorry. And then anyway, so yeah, that should be your happy place. I mean, it's a place where you're going to suffer and sweat, but it's not like you suffer and sweat like in duress. You know what I'm saying? You're doing that to yourself. So you should be like happy to be at your academy. I'm so happy that I'm going to my academy. It's after work. I'm fucking going somewhere where I feel good, and it's going to make me feel even better, and then, that's it.
Yeah. That's great advice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, great advice, man. If I could piggyback on that, Chris, I was actually in the same position as a purple belt too, where I left the school that I started at, and I was there for actually about 8 or 9 years myself, so or 7 or 8 years. And my advice, what I would give you is that, man, make sure that you try out a couple different places and don't just do like trial classes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're not going to really get the idea. You're not going to really get the idea in a week free trial somewhere. You need to. Of
course, you'll be the new kid at school, and everyone will kill you.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
but that's just procedure.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Exactly. Yeah, but then, look around and try the different. Obviously, if you're in Phoenix, there's plenty of good jiu-jitsu in Arizona, so there's plenty of places.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, there is.
Yeah, but just spend a few months to make sure that it's actually the vibe you like. And like Kurt said, this is something that you do for fun and for personal enrichment. So it should not be a place you dread going to. So excellent advice, Kurt. Next one is from Isaac in New Jersey. He says, "Kurt, how are things between you and Half Gracie these days? I know there was some drama many years ago, but I know you guys were always close friends, and I was also happy to hear that you're back to teaching at his school again sometimes. Also, coming up at his gym, who do you think was the toughest guy in the room during those days?"
Me.
How dare you even ask, Isaac? What are you doing?
No, I just saw Half 2 weeks ago. You were in town like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was there 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, Half was here in town. I saw him and everything. I was teaching his favorite move, and just coincidentally, and he came in and everything. Got to see him. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I do Saturday mornings over there at Ralph Gracie San Francisco, and then my relationship is great. I was really happy to see him, and that's about it, and then I think he's doing some tour of all his facilities on the way back to Brazil. And what else did he ask me?
Toughest guy in the room.
Oh, who was the toughest guy on the mat in the room?
Back in those days.
At the academy? Back in what days? We were all really tough. That was back in the day. We were all really tough. Nobody wanted to fuck, everybody was fucking tough, and you knew it was going to be a tough night when you saw 5 or 6 of your regular fucking partners there. You knew it was going to be a full dance card, and everything was not going to be easy. There was so much talent, you know, there still is, I'm sure, you know. I haven't seen any really lately. You know, you know how you know when you're getting to be old?
What?
When you look at them and you just go, fuck, what a bunch of fucking pussies.
Chris, these are your students on Saturday mornings, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing? They're gonna see this.
Like, because it's just not like it was, okay? Yeah. Everything out-evolved me, okay? And then that wasn't much of a step, you know? It was like, okay, we're just gonna be civilized.
We're not gonna be maniacs that beat ourselves into pulps, yeah.
Exactly. And I just sit there and I just go, and I go, fuck. I find myself so fortunate to be able to talk about how it used to be. So that's one thing about, but yeah, there's definitely a big difference in the kids nowadays.
Yeah.
But there's still outliers, and I'm trying to find some of them to make into my legion, you know? Because I got these blue belts and they're like, you know, I thought I was going to just sit out. I think I was going to. I'm like, you don't fucking get to think. Get the fuck in there, motherfucker. And they're like, everybody like grabs me and goes, no, Kurt,
you can't talk. They have feeling.
No, I'm going to have to go to anger management again. And I'm not angry. I'm outraged. This is different than angry. I'm sure I thought I would. You know, I was going to just stretch and then I'd join class later. I'm looking at him like, you just spoke to me in another language that I don't fucking know, you know? And I'm like, I'm all, get in there and start fucking drilling the move, you know, or whatever I'll say. I'll say something in many languages. And they're like, how do you know how to swear at me in that language? I'm all, because I have friends that are from that country. What do you think? And they taught me all the bad words first. But
I have been impressed by your languages, man. Your Spanish, German, and Portuguese are pretty sharp.
So needless to say, I got to whip out some Russian the other day, and so I have this little. There's a lot of Ukrainians and Russians over here now because of all the shit that's going on in their homelands, and so I did judo with a bunch of Russian guys, man. And that was fucking tough. Getting belts out of fucking Russians. Holy shit. Needless to say, they taught me how to swear. And so these little Russian kids are like doing whatever they're doing. And I come over and I say it in Russian. I go, look, you little pussies, get to work in Russian. And they look at me and they're like, holy shit. You know, in their little awestruck eyes. And I'm all, now get back to work. And they're like, wait a minute. Hold on. I guess
are these children?
Yeah, they're like 7.
Oh my God, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? I thought you meant young adult athletes.
I told you, no. These are 7-year-olds.
Oh my God.
But they're Russian. They're Russian 7-year-olds, so they're totally different from our 7-year-olds. That is true.
It's a different breed of 7-year-old. I'll give you that.
Because they already were swearing at each other in Russian, and that's why I came over and I started swearing at them in Russian.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, look, you little suka.
What is suka?
Suka is like bitch.
Okay.
And I'm like, bliat, suka. I'm like, get over there and start working. And they're like, oh my God. And I guess they told their parents, and now their parents like bring them in and give them to me.
Yeah, they like you, yeah. Like, we think Kurt is good.
They're like,
he will build character. Let me get you the next question here. Next one comes from Jason in Wisconsin. Basically, Jason says, I lose matches by points and I want to become better at winning by points in tournaments. What advice would you offer so I can improve that aspect of my competition?
If you tap out the guy, you don't have to worry about points.
True.
And, okay, so this is what I was taught. Points are the consequence of me going out and finalizing the person. They are just a byproduct of what my actual goal is. And so I did suffer many, 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 many losses because of points, because the whole time I was just trying to tap the guy out. But that improved after I figured out that I couldn't give up points to do that. You know what I'm saying? So my strategy tightened up. You know what I'm saying? And half strategy has always worked for me, and that's why I always keep using it to this day. And I'm all, what's my strategy? Half, and he goes, go out there, throw this guy on the floor, pass his guard, and choke him. I'm all, fuck yeah.
Keep it simple. Yeah, keep it simple.
Keep it simple. And then it was MMA. And I go, what do I do, Half? And he goes, go out there, throw him on the floor, pass his guard, beat the shit out of him, and choke him. The ref will stop you if you're killing him. I'm all right. Yeah. So that's always been my strategy. But sometimes it's like you got to develop your game so that, okay, I'm going to throw this guy on the floor, and I am going to pass his guard, and I am going to tap him, right? And so then you're just honing your skills so that you can perform the feats that you're gonna use, and then you'll make points, and then you'll be up on points, and then the rest is on you and everything if you want to. But you're like, if I jump to guard and then I sweep him out, the guy, I'm 6 up, or whatever, or I sweep the guy and then I pass his guard, then I'm 5 up. So it's a main thing is a lot of strategy and the will and the technique to enforce them all. How's that?
That's excellent, man. I like it. So stay offensive, Jason. Stay offensive, my man. Final question comes from Paul in Melbourne, Australia. He says, Kurt, you have talked a lot in the past about your sobriety, and I myself have been sober now for 10 months. As you know, it's a constant struggle, but I'm so happy that I got over the initial hump of the first 90 days. Jiu-Jitsu has really helped me stay on the path, but what have been some other things that you feel like have helped you maintain your sobriety? I know you're into art and music. Has that stuff helped you as well? You're always an inspiration, and you kick ass. I hope you come back to Australia soon.
I'll be sober this time. Last time I was in a bad spot. That was during my bad spot, and then it was down already, and then it went further. So yeah, I just go, every day is good because now I don't have to wake up and fucking get to the liquor store by 8 a.m. so I don't shake. You know what I'm saying? And I feel a lot more like, how can I say? I feel that I can relate better with my peers and with my students, and I'm more present. I'm not like behind a veil, like drunk all the time, drunk constantly. And so I feel like way happier. My body is reacting to me not doing it, and so that makes me feel better too. And I'm training, of course, and I teach constantly, and now I'm like, well, let's kick it up a gear. And that's where I got to watch out, is if you want to kick it up a gear, that's my fucking middle name. And so I started lifting weights and stuff like that. So, my goal is just to be able to stand up without climbing up a wall, right now. That's my little goal. The big goal is make a pretty good solid comeback where maybe I get to do one more tournament.
That's awesome.
Or something, something. But yeah, art and music always help. My girlfriend is really awesome. Stephanie's super, super awesome girlfriend. She helps me every day. And that's about it, man. All you can do is just fucking occupy that dead time. I spend it I'm usually at the gym right now, and you guys saved me from doing chores. Otherwise, I'd be fucking slaving out here on my house. But instead, I'm like, no, I got to do an interview. Can't do those chores.
Bummer. I was just going to do those dishes.
No, that's easy. No, I'm talking about fucking
yard work,
gardening, yard work. Oh my God. Holy shit.
Well, Kurt, obviously I couldn't be happier for you, man. You've come a long way in the last year, man. And a huge shout out to Stephanie, your girlfriend, man. Stephanie has been a tremendous force of good in your life, and I'm glad you found her. And all your fans and friends are happy for you, dude. And for Paul and Melbourne, man, keep up the good fight. If you're what do you say, 9 months? I think you said 9 months into sobriety, 10 months into sobriety, dude. That's huge. So keep going, man. Keep it up and fill that dead time, like Kurt said. Stay training, stay active. Kurt, I'm happy to hear you're lifting weights again too, dude. That's outstanding. How's that been? Has it been pretty easy to get back in?
It's hard.
Yeah.
Weights are heavy, and I'm just doing. I'm doing I'm doing an hour, but it's fully like this is like the pre. I'm working out so that I can work out.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. I'm getting all my muscles firing and my limbs back to where I'm doing squats and I'm dragging sleds and stuff like that. I'm doing a lot of band stuff. And so he's like, Jeff, the guy who's doing this at Unbound, he's like, he's also, where are you fucked up, Mal? All right. So I'm not fucked up in the hips because those are fucking brand new. The rest is fucking shot. And he's all, really? I'm all, dude, it's pretty severe. And I was off for a year just getting operated on. And then And then almost a year of just letting my innards heal. And then finally December is when I started training again. And it's hard getting your ass kicked when you were not the one getting your ass kicked.
For a long time.
Now it's like, oh, what, I can kick Kurt's ass? Let's train with Kurt. Before they'd avoid me. Now they're swarming me.
Well, dude, I'm so happy to see you back out there, especially on the mats. But then, dude, going the step further, lifting weights, that's outstanding, dude. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Well, you know me. I don't try to just do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do some crazy shit.
That's awesome. Well, dude, and then I think having the long-term goal of doing another tournament would be awesome, man. Get you into like one of the Masters divisions and kick ass.
Fuck
again.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
great.
Masters.
That'd be great.
Masters 8. I'll be Master
dude,
8.
Hey, you're out there. That's awesome, dude.
That's hilarious.
It's incredible, man. That's awesome. Super stoked for you. Kurt, what are some things you hope to accomplish in the next few months? I'm interviewing. We're back on a good schedule now, where I'm getting you on the show almost every month now. So next 30 days.
Cool.
What are your goals for the next 30 days?
I'll be. So that'll be 4. I'll be 2 months into weight training, and I'll be Tanner, and yeah, man. If everything goes according to schedule in the next 30 days, I should probably jump a little bit more weight, or actually replace the weight with muscle.
Nice.
And start looking even fitter.
Excellent, dude.
I'll be fitterer.
Dude, this is gonna be great to see your progression, man. I want to see you by the time December rolls around. I want to see like a yoked Kurt Osiander showing up to these interviews.
We'll see. I never get yoked, but I'm gonna try to get nice and ripped, at least as ripped as this. And I'm going to be fucking 60 in December. So that's a good goal.
That's right. That is a good goal, man. That is a good goal. Yeah, dude, it's funny. We always struggle in the beginning of every episode off the air. This is kind of behind the scenes stuff for you guys. Getting Kurt to fit in camera. He always has he's always on his couch and he's got the yeah. So it's always like a 15-minute battle to get Kurt like balancing his phone against various objects and like getting him in position. I want to see by the time December rolls around, I want like your traps. Your traps will be a problem to get those in the screen.
We'll see.
Hulk-like Osiander.
I'm gonna need some performance enhancing.
Yeah, right. You will.
I'm gonna need some of those fruits and juices that they take in Brazil.
Those special creatines, yes.
Fuck that. Is that injectable creatine?
I don't think so. No, but you could. I mean, realistically, you could inject anything. It's just whether or not it's gonna take.
No, I can't. I can't do anything. I can't do anything. It's gonna be all fucking natural.
Awesome. That's the way to do it, buddy. Excellent, man. Well, guys, we always appreciate you tuning in. Kurt, I always appreciate you being on the show, man. We'll see you again probably in about another 30 days or so. In the meantime, guys, if you want to keep up with Kurt, he's active most on Instagram. Just type in Kurt Osiander, you'll find him. If you guys are ever traveling through California, specifically Northern California, he teaches at Half Gracie Jiu-Jitsu on Saturdays, Kurt, right? Saturday mornings.
Yep.
Half Gracie, downtown San Francisco. He also teaches at La Miranda Jiu-Jitsu in Lafayette, California. So if you guys are ever passing through there, drop in. If you can't make it to one of his classes, you can learn from Kurt anywhere in the world. He's got one of our best-selling instructionals called Fundamentals of a Jiu-Jitsu Renegade. It's one of our best sellers on the website. Also, guys, Kurt is wide open for seminars. He just got back from Florida not long ago. Kurt, you're in Colorado, so he's back on the seminar tour again. So hit him up, send him a message.
Oh yeah,
get him out to your place.
I am totally not booked right now. Good. Which is not good.
No, it's not good, but I'm saying that you're available. I'm saying it's good that you're
I'm available, goddammit. I'll sleep on the couch and scare your cat.
All good reasons to bring Kurt out to your school, for sure. So hit him up online. And then also, guys, if you want to submit questions for Kurt for next month's episode, it's askosiander@gmail.com. So if you guys have a question, submit it there. Make sure you add your name and the city or state that you're from. And that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. I really appreciate you tuning in. Please stay tuned for the next episode of the BJJ Fanatics podcast.